Why do you think there wasn't more dramatic movement in the surge after the initial attacks?
No, there are a few reasons, but two of them are important. The first one is, I think the Saudi authorities very quickly moved and reassured the markets that they will come back very quickly. And many other players, such as the International Energy Agency, said, please calm down. We have enough stocks with the IEA countries, and if there is a need, we will be bringing those stocks to the markets, and no problem. This is one reason. And second, United States, US oil production is still growing very strong, the shale oil production. There's a lot of oil in the markets, and as a result of these two, we didn't see a major jump in the prices, and current price levels are more or less there where we had just before the crisis.
Exactly, and the Saudis have been making remarkable progress on restoring production and exports. Do you know where they are right now in terms of production and exports? Have you heard recent numbers?
I think what I would like to refer to what the Saudi authorities say. They are very close, if not almost there, in terms of both production and exports, and I have no reason to doubt about their numbers.
On the demand side, you have the IEA has expected growth to be above 1 million barrels a day this year and next. Is it still the case? Is that still your forecast, given the slowing global economy?
So we expect currently a growth about 1.1 million barrels per day this year. First of all, it is much lower than the historical averages. It was much higher. And but also, looking at the global economy, weakening, China, the driver of the global oil demand, experiencing the lowest economic growth since 30 years. The advanced economies are slowing down. We may well revise down our numbers, demand numbers, in the next days or months to come if the global economy continues to weaken.
Do you know what kind of drop it's going to look like, when we can expect that revision?
I think we will soon look at it again. If there is a need, we will revise it down. But it will be still a growth in the global oil demand, but maybe lower than, slightly lower than what we have now.
Let me ask you about why you're here. You're meeting with the economics minister, Peter Altmaier. You're meeting with the chancellor, Angela Merkel. They've recently put together with the SPD a 55 billion euro climate package. What are you discussing with them?
I think it was a very good move from the Germany side. Many years ago, Germany made a big move in terms of the renewables, solar and wind energy. And they have made a big achievement in terms of the increasing share of wind and solar in the electricity generation. But in addition to electricity generation, there are other sectors which one needs to look, which we call them hard-to-abate sectors in terms of emissions, such as the transportation, such as the building system. They come up with the climate package, providing financial incentives to decarbonize those sectors. It's a very good move, and I congratulated Mr. Altmaier and the German government to make this first move, perhaps one of the most impressive one within the advanced economies.
Carbon prices have been a little bit light, and the carbon pricing in that plan was criticized. On the other hand, we've seen futures markets pricing carbon, or forecasting the price of carbon very high, around $50 a ton, 50 euros a ton. Where do you see the pricing going?
I think there will be definitely zigzags in the carbon prices, but I believe the general trend will be, in a normal economic environment, upwards. The reason is we are going to see in Europe more and more climate-related policies. Climate change becomes a cornerstone of the economic and energy policy making in Europe, most of the countries, and to expect that there will be a U-turn from these climate policies would be, in my view, rather an unrealistic assumption.
Hydrogen is one of the things that the IEA has been talking about a lot. I know with Shinzo Abe at the G20. And now we're hearing companies like Gazprom even trying to figure out how they can get hydrogen through their natural gas pipelines. What do you expect for the future of hydrogen?
Now, hydrogen is a very versatile option. You can generate hydrogen from oil, gas, coal, but also from renewable energies, wind and solar. very versatile. And you can use hydrogen also for many different sources. They feed households, to run cars, for industry. Therefore, there is a huge potential for hydrogen worldwide, and IEA is very happy to lead these efforts internationally at the G20 and elsewhere, because we think it is a good news for the fossil fuels, because we still need fossil fuels, oil, gas, and coal, but also providing a storage for the wind and solar. So it's a good solution. The only problem is it is still expensive, and the governments are pushing the price, bring the prices down in order to make it more affordable for the consumers. And if I have to make a bet for the future, hydrogen is definitely one of those bets for the next technology to deploy the markets.